Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to Heal With Me. Heal With Me is our weekly, okay, great. Heal With Me is our weekly live support group where we come together so that we can heal our hearts and authentically transform our lives. Let's be honest, so many of us are so used to being that go to person and taking care of everyone else. You're out here, we made it through a global pandemic. We made it through so much racial and social unrest. And you're out here trying to live your life, trying to pursue your dreams. I know that the world has pretty much gone back to normal, but you're trying to figure out how do I find normalcy, how do I find peace, how do find joy. And I feel like Heal With Me is an environment for you to do just that. This is a space that we come every Monday night so that we can heal our hearts, embrace the truth, and authentically transform our lives. I'm so thankful to be doing Heart Talk on Heal With Me. I'm Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I have been doing this now for over 8 years. I am very passionate about creating spaces for us to heal. One thing I know is that you can find millions of videos on how to make six figures, how to secure the bag, how to start a business, how to write a book, how to do all of these things. But I want you to tell me, how much do you see about how do I live better? How do I like the person that I see in the mirror? How do I sleep better at night? How can I start to tell myself the truth so that I can show up and tell the truth to others? A lot of us want people to keep it real with us. A lot of us want people to keep it 100, as the young people say, but we're not keeping it real with ourselves. We are not being honest and authentic with how we're feeling and what we're experiencing. A lot of people are out here securing the bag. You are making money, but you still aren't sleeping good at night. You're not confident in yourself. You do not love the person you see in the mirror. And though you may profess that and proclaim that to other people who you might be talking to, I know the truth. So Heal With Me is a time for us. Christopher! Excuse me, y'all. I'm parenting too. Heal With Me is a time for us to come together and confront those things. So one of the things tonight I want us to talk about, and please do me a favor, please share this video with anyone that you think can benefit from Heal With Me. If there is anyone that you know is the strong person, is the go-to person, is the person that everybody's always calling on for help, everybody's always going to support. That person that everybody's always looking to have the answer. Where do you go? Are you seeing your therapist regularly? Do you have a life coach or a heart coach that you're working with? Do you have a counselor that you speak to on a regular basis? If you don't, you need that. Don't tell me you go to church and you pray. That's not enough. It's time. Many of us have to be set free. And we're not going to be set free by suppressing things. Christopher! I'm sorry for yelling, y'all. Please excuse me. Real life stuff going on in here. Meg the Stallion say real hard girl stuff, but me, I'm telling you real mama stuff. Can you cut that timer off and stir that food up for me, please? Thank you. So tonight we're talking about being stuck, right? I launched the Heartcubator September the 1st, and the Heartcubator is my online coaching course. It's an online coaching course that I have launched where you have 8 self-paced modules that are designed to take you from stuck to unstoppable in your life and business. The beauty of this online course is in the Heartcubator, I work with you weekly. We have weekly live coaching and Q&A sessions. A lot of online courses don't offer that, but I offer that to give you that extra level of support. But in the Heartcubator, we are confronting and debunking the fears that have caused you to play small and be stuck in your life. We are going to uncover biblical truths that God says about you and your life and how you're supposed to show up and be unstoppable in your life and your business. We are going to get clear on your business ideas and the day-to-day functions that you should be participating in if you're starting or growing your business. We're also going to get clear on we're also going to get clear on social media techniques that you can use to get your message out to your community and out along around the globe. One of the things that I have come to realize is that, a lot of us, we know that we're called to do something. Maybe God called you to start a business, or maybe God called you to write a book, but you're playing with it. You're playing small. You're dragging your feet. Maybe God told you it was time for you to start. Maybe God told you it's time for you to start a movement. Maybe you're supposed to work with young people. Maybe you are supposed to be that person that's supposed to have some type of outreach program for the elderly, or some program that reaches the community in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you are that one. And if you are, the Heartcubator is for you, because it is designed to help you get unstuck and bring those ideas to life. Whatever that movement is, whatever that business is. Maybe you have a business, but you want to launch a product or a service. The Heartcubator can help you do that. And the thing that I'm most excited about, because I've had business coaching, I've had life coaching, I've done that over the years. One thing that I know, there are not many programs that really focus on the foundation of what you're building. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about the foundation, they don't like to look at the foundation, but if you don't have a foundation, whatever you're building will not last. So you need a foundation. You need your foundation to be in place. And the Heartcubator, our online self-paced course, is designed to help you do just that. So if you want to find out more about the Heartcubator, go to the website, theheartconnections.com or addiebb.com. But if you go to the website, you can find out more information about the Heartcubator and all about me and how I became the heart coach. And you can find out more about the books and services that are there as well. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know about this, because it's one thing for me to get on here and talk, and we can have our support session, but you need to know that you have resources out there to help you live a better life. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to stay angry. It is time for you to break through and break out, and the Heartcubator can help you do just that. So now we got through that. Remember, if you're on our YouTube channel watching the video, remember to like the video, subscribe, to share wherever you are listening. Might be YouTube, might be Facebook, might be on Zoom. Wherever you are, just remember to like, share, and subscribe. Tonight we're talking about, are you hurting others by being stuck? Are you hurting others by being stuck? I want you to really think about your position in life. And is your position right now, the current location you find yourself? Maybe it could be in your career, it could be in your personal life, it could be in your spiritual life. But are you hurting others by being stuck? I want you to ask yourself that question. Am I hurting others by being stuck? Last week, I asked the question, are you the problem? And so tonight, I want to talk a little bit more about, what does being stuck look like? I don't mean like physically stuck, like you're in a hole and you can't get out. Hopefully, you're not there. But I'm talking about you, if you've been on your job, you've been working in this position for years, and this is not what you're passionate about. This is not the thing that you know that God has called you to do. You know that is more to life than what you're doing right now. That's a feeling. That's a kind of way of being stuck. What about being in dead end relationships? Maybe you've been in a relationship for a while. Maybe this relationship has not grown, has not blossomed at all, and you find yourself feeling very irritated and very frustrated with this individual. It could be your relationship with your significant other, right? It could be a relationship with a sibling. It could be a relationship with your job. But whatever it is, you're in this relationship and it feels stagnant. You don't feel like you're going anyplace. You don't feel like you're growing. That could be a sign that you're stuck, right? What if you feel a certain way about yourself and you can't shake that feeling? What if you constantly feel like you're not good enough? What if you constantly feel like you can't achieve that goal because you're not smart enough? You don't have that degree. You haven't had those experiences. Your parents don't have that level of income. Whatever your story may be, what is your story? I'm curious. What is your story? Because depending on what your story is, that's going to depend on how quick and how easy you're going to be able to get unstuck and stop hurting others. Full disclosure and transparency. When I was still in corporate, my background is in healthcare. Before I officially became, I've been heart coaching. I think I started consistently encouraging and uplifting people every day. That started in 20 2005 or 2006. That's when I started sending out my inspirational text messages. But I've always been inspirational and encouraging. I feel like I have a gift of that. So when I started sending those text messages, I officially was the heart coach, but I just didn't even have that title or that language to be able to use at that time to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. But when I started to do Heart Talk in 2014, September 1st, 2014, I realized that there was a whole nother area of my life. I would say another chapter of my life, but it was a whole nother book of my life that I had not been exposed to yet. And I was just beginning to get a taste. It's kind of like a child that's starting off school. It's like the kindergarten and starting kindergarten. And it's like, man, you're going to go through kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. Like, you haven't seen anything yet. You're just getting to kindergarten. That's how I was when I started Heart Talk. I didn't realize that it was just the beginning of where God was taking me, and I'm just getting started now. But one of the things that I realized was as I started growing, as I started becoming the heart coach and doing all of those things, one of the things that I realized was me being stuck was impacting those around me. For example, I was doing Heart Talk, and after doing Heart Talk for a couple months, I got my first speaking engagement. That was like a real deal speaking engagement because I was coaching on Heart Talk. Now, I didn't think I was equipped to speak. I didn't think that I was ready to speak. But I'm asking the question, are you hurting others by being stuck? But by me speaking opened the doors and allowed not just me, but others to open up their heart and do something different because when they saw me doing different, when they saw me speak for the first time, it gave them power and encouragement and uplifting to feel like they could achieve what they were trying to achieve. They could reach the goals that they were trying to reach. So if I had stayed stuck in being afraid to speak or being afraid to get out there and, put myself out there, then a lot of the people that came behind me that drew from my strength, drew from my courage, I can't say that they wouldn't have found their way. I'm sure they would have, but how long would that have taken? And were they supposed to find their way any other way outside of me showing them? And so another thing I found, I remember years ago, I moved away and I moved out of town. I moved out of town for a while. And when I moved out of town, I was running. I felt like I was running. I moved out of town because I was frustrated. I moved out of town because I just felt like my life was stuck. I was at a dead end and I did not feel like I could get done what I needed to get done in Charleston, South Carolina, where I am now, my hometown. So what I did, I moved away. And what I found was when I moved away, I put some of my loved ones in danger because I was running. And because I was running, I put them in harm's way because I was running. And I think that a lot of us don't realize the consequences of our actions or the lack thereof. See, a lot of times we look at consequences as the response or the outcome of the behaviors that we've done. But when you talk about being stuck, sometimes there are consequences that come from the behaviors that you did not do. And I just want to know if you've been making decisions in your life that have been very selfish and making decisions that have been very self centered, where they're only focused on you and you're not thinking about how those decisions are impacting others. I see this a lot in parenting. I see this a lot, especially with women and men when they get upset with each other and they have children. A lot of times, what I found this a lot with women more than men, though I've seen men do this as well. But I've found that a lot of women, when they're hurting and they're stuck in that place of hurting from that past relationship or that current relationship with the father of their child or their children, they end up hurting their children because they're so upset with the parent, with the father, for whatever reason. So them being stuck in that issue that they have with that father puts their children in harm's way. It's hurting others, right? And I mean, you could look at that in relationships. Let's talk about friendships. Are you hurting others by being stuck? I've been in situations where I've been in a crowd and the hands of one is the hands of all. Because I was in the crowd, I endured consequences because somebody else was stuck. Somebody else was stuck in making bad decisions. Somebody else was stuck in making a bad choice. And because of that, it hurt everybody that was in their vicinity. So I'm asking you, are your selfish behaviors or is your fear, your doubt, your worry causing you to hurt others because you're choosing to stay stuck? A lot of us are living below our means in life. We are not living to our fullest potential. We are not doing what God called us to do. We are doing just enough to get by, or we're doing just enough to look good enough to compare ourselves to those that we are around. You think you're good. You say you're doing good enough, but you're not really doing good enough. You just doing better than the person next to you who you've been comparing yourself to. And so because you're doing better than that person, you feel like you're doing good. No, you're not. You're stuck. And just like when a clog gets in a hose or in a pipe, in plumbing or HVAC, we just had to get a repair done to my HVAC unit, and there was a clog in the line. And so that clog was causing water to back up, and that water that backed up caused other damage in the home because water is not designed to be standing on the floor at the house. So if you are stuck, you can hurt and harm others just from being in close proximity to them, just from being attached to them. So I'm asking, who are you hurting because you're choosing to stay stuck? Who are you hurting because you're choosing to stay stuck? Because I can almost like I can like guarantee you that if you're stuck in any situation right now, if you feeling like if you're not happy with yourself waking up every morning, then you're stuck someplace. I'm not saying that every day is going to be sunny and every day is going to be perfect. But one thing I can say is I don't care what comes at me. I am thankful for what I'm doing because I know that every day I wake up with a clear conscience and an open mind and an open heart, wanting to help and uplift and encourage myself and others. I love what I do. I don't feel like I'm stuck like I used to. I used to feel like I was stuck as a heart coach. I used to feel stuck because I was trying to fit myself in a box that everybody else was in. I was trying to do what everybody else was doing. I was trying to look like whatever was trending and whatever was in at the time. And that will cause you to get stuck. And when you try to do that, a lot of times when you try to fit in and try to keep up with the trends and follow the crowd, what happens is you get lost in the crowd. You get stuck or you lose yourself because you're too busy trying to fit into the crowd. So I just want to encourage you right now. What areas of your life are you hurting? So you might not think you're stuck. What areas of your life are you hurting? And I'll even go a step deeper, because some of us have been covering up and masking our emotions. Our heart is so hard that I'm asking you what area of your life is hurting, and you will probably tell me nothing. You're fine. You're not hurting in any way, shape, or form. So in that case, I'm going to ask you, where are you having challenges? Are you having challenges in your health? Are you having challenges in your relationship with your children, with your significant other, with your spouse? Now let's look at those challenges a little bit. Those challenges are the equivalent of being stuck. And it's time for you to live unstoppable. But sometimes we're not willing to make a change because we're so self centered and focused on ourselves. So that's why the topic for tonight is, are you hurting others by being stuck? Because I want you to look around, look at those that are closest to you. Are they benefiting from you? Are you building them up, or are you tearing them down? When you, it could be your children. Yes, you might be providing for them, giving them a roof over their head, but are you giving them what they need mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Or you just giving them the physical things? Because you could very well be hurting those around you because you're stuck. I remember I was working with a client, and she was having some serious issues with her grandmother. Her grandmother was a mother in the church. Her grandmother was one of those people, always active in the community. Everybody knows her, very upstanding. But her grandmother was very cynical and very negative. And her grandmother's cynicism really caused her a lot of anxiety. She wanted to get things perfect. She wanted things to be right because she didn't want her grandmother to challenge her or critique her, because in doing so, she just felt so uncomfortable. And what I realized was, and what I told her is, I believe that your grandmother is so critical of you because someone was very critical of her like that in her younger years or at some point in her life. And she brought that level of judgment. She brought that rubric to grade how she rates you as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. And all I'm telling you is, it's time to change your rubric. If you're the one that's stuck, and if you are someone that's in relationship with people, or somebody that is difficult to deal with because of what they're going through in their life, yes, you love them. No, you should not be turning your back on people, but you are not God, and you cannot save everyone. You are not God, and you cannot save everyone. And one of the best things you can do is make sure that you stay unstuck, and make sure that you don't keep yourself in a space where you can allow others to beat up on you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Constructive criticism is fine, but you don't need people tearing you down and being nice, nasty, and rude when it's time to let you know things you need to work on and things you need to improve. You also need to trust your gut, because sometimes your gut, that feeling, that for me is in like my abdominal area. Some people it's up in their chest. Like some people feel it in their head. But when you have that gut feeling like, hey, I need to do this, or I need to do that, I need to change it, you're gonna have to trust that, because sometimes the people around you are stuck and you don't realize they're stuck, but you're being hurt by them, by the clog. You're being impacted by them being out of place. Are you hurting others by being stuck? One thing about Heal With Me Live Support Group, this is an accountability group. We are not going to be getting on here blaming everybody else, because we have to own our mess, just like we can own our greatness. We have to make up in our minds that, I can tell you, I can give you a very personal story for me with my oldest child. When I started doing hard work and started the healing process, I was hurting my daughter. I know I was, because I was very emotionally, um, I was emotionally cutting. And I know I was, because there were days that I said things to her that when I allowed myself to feel, it hurt me. It hurt me, and I said it. I could only imagine being on the receiving end. And yes, I can give you justifications. I was having a bad day and I didn't grow up with my dad, and my mom and I were struggling in our relationship at that time, and all of that might be true. But I was stuck. And that stuckness, that being stuck, caused a problem in my relationship with my children. That being stuck caused a problem in my relationship with my husband. I was stuck. I was stuck in the expectations I had of my father. So being stuck in those expectations caused me to hurt my husband, my children, my parents, because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with the fact that I didn't want to expose my heart. I didn't want to be vulnerable and tell people how I really felt. I would much rather act like something doesn't bother me and go try to work it away. Go try to be busy and do it away. Go drink it away. Go smoke it away. Whatever it is, those defense mechanisms, right? God is saying it is time for us to be accountable. We want everybody else to be accountable to what they did to us. We want people to apologize. We want people to come back and give us that respect. But who are you doing that for? Who did you disrespect and let down? Who are you mean to, or said some mean things to, or didn't have the best attitude with when you were dealing with them and they did nothing to deserve it? And even if they did, you knew you should have done better. Who are those people? It's time to rectify that situation. It's time to apologize, and not just apologize with your mouth. It's time to apologize with the way that you're living your life. The best apology is change behavior. That's the best apology. The best apology you can give somebody is change behavior, is doing it better or doing it differently, doing what you said you would do. But I just wanted to get on tonight because I believe that many of us come from family, generational patterns of hurting people, hurting people. I feel like many of us come from family patterns that present being stuck, staying stuck, and hurting others in the process. I talk to so many clients that say, I didn't really hug my kids or kiss on my kids, especially some of my older clients, because my parents didn't do that for me, so I just didn't do that for them. I understand that sometimes it's hard to give something that you did not get, but when you know or starting to understand that, look, I needed a hug, I needed a kiss, like I needed my parents to explain to me versus yelling and attacking me. I needed to be educated on things instead of people telling me just do what I say and don't ask about it. And a lot of us have been hurt for so long, we are so stuck, we can't even admit how much we're hurting. So if you can't admit how much you're hurting, you probably are not even aware of how much you're hurting other people. Now, you want other people to keep it real with you. You want other people to be loyal. But are you being loyal, and are you keeping it real? I need to know this, because if we're not going to change and we're not going to heal if we don't start looking within. Let me tell you something. Heart work is some of the most gratifying work you will ever do. Jesus said he came to set the captives free. He wasn't talking about just physical setting people free out of jail. He came to set us free from our hearts, out of the mouth flows the issues of our heart. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, it's not enough to be like for me. I use the example. I would be very sharp and in my vocabulary and how I would talk to my children, especially my older children when they were younger. Like, I do a lot more explaining now than I did as a younger parent. But I didn't explain as a younger parent because I thought good parents don't explain. Good parents tell children what to do, and good parents make sure those children listen. That's what I thought. But I was hurting my children because I was stuck in that old way of viewing parenting. That was an old way of parenting. I was stuck in something that was outdated, that was very slavery esque, but it was what I knew. It was what was accepted in my culture. Is pain so accepted in your culture that you're afraid to heal? I know as being a black woman, it's like a lot of times black people, we will take on pain as if that's a part of being black. And yes, we go through a lot of pain. Being black is a difficult thing in the world as a whole. But I don't want us to keep thinking that that's supposed to be a part of our experience just because we're black. No, when you take on the cross and you accept Jesus as your savior, yes, you taking on that long suffering, and you're going to go through some things, but you should not be mistreated because of the color of your skin. I mean, I know that, right? But I can't tell you how much I get disrespected and mistreated and discriminated against right now in business, in churches and businesses. Like, listen, people don't care, but I cannot stay stuck in prejudice and racism. I cannot stay stuck in classism. I cannot stay stuck in that. Because the truth of the matter is, there are times that I can be prejudiced, I can be privileged, and I can use that in a way that's hurting other people. I'm not just talking about like being stuck is a lot of different things. Like some of y'all are stuck with a pocket full of money. Some of y'all are stuck with everything you ever dreamed of wanting in your life, but you got a bad attitude. You have a bad self image. And when I was parenting, and I still work on that now, but I realized how much insecurities I was not dealing with triggers of what people said to me in first grade, second grade, third grade, when somebody teased me, when somebody bullied me. What about when I teased or bullied somebody and I'm still carrying the guilt or the shame of that? Hurting people hurt people. When you are stuck, you hurt everybody around you because it's like carrying dead weight. If God told you it's time for you to get out there and start that business and get out there and make an impact and you won't do it because it's not perfect, you hurting people around you as well as hurting yourself. If God told you it's time to lead your family, it is time to come out of the background. It's time to speak up. It's time to do what you say you're going to do and say what you say you need to say, and you choose to stay quiet and you choose to stay in the background, you are hurting those because you're stuck. If you keep securing the bag and your bank account is awesome, but your relationship account is depleted, you're not in a good place with your loved ones, your lover. You're not in a good place with your children. You're not in a good place with your coworkers and maybe your employees, wherever you are in your career. You're stuck. And that stuckness is hurting people. Because when you are out of place, it causes other people to get out of place. Think about being in traffic and somebody not staying in their lane. What does that do with everybody else? If somebody is driving out of their lane, it could cause everybody to have to slow down. It could cause accidents because because you can't get around them. When you're stuck, you're hurting others. You're causing others to get stuck. So what does this mean? You might have been waiting for somebody in your life to just get it together, right? You might have been waiting for somebody in their life. They just need to, if he would just do this and if she would just do that. But are they waiting to see you do it? Sometimes being a leader, being a visionary, it's almost like a labor of love, because it's like I love it. I dream big and I pursue my dreams, but sometimes it can get frustrating because there are a lot of people who are so guarded and have been hurt that they're afraid to even share their dreams. And then when they do share, they share with somebody like me. It's like, I'm gonna tell you this so you can go and do it. No, that's your dream. You get unstuck and get unstoppable, making that dream come true. That's not for me. I might be able to encourage you, uplift you, support you, but you're going to help others by getting unstuck. But when you work in a job you know you shouldn't be on, you have an attitude that is not a good attitude, you're stuck and you're hurting other people. Don't give me no excuse, well, this is just the way I am. You can change. And is that really the way you are, or is that the way you have accepted because that's where life has taken you? Are you hiding behind your defense mechanism? Is your bad attitude a defense mechanism? Is your hard work, your work ethic a defense mechanism? You know, a defense against the pain. Is it a barrier that you're building up against the insecurities of your past, of when you were abandoned, when you were neglected, when you were left behind, or when you were misunderstood? I can promise you, if you don't rectify that issue, it's going to keep coming back. And it's not just going to hurt those around you, it's going to keep hurting you. You got to deal with the pain. You got to deal with the insecurity. Why? Start asking yourself, why am I this way? Why do I have to make sure these things are perfect? Why do I have to make sure this person sees everything that I do? Why do I want them to know I'm doing so well at this time? What is it about them? Why do I feel like I need to put on? Why do I feel like I need to fit in that crowd? Why do I want to be in that group, in that posse, in that crew, in that community? Do you feel like that will add value to you? Do you feel like that will help you? Let's get a little deeper. Do you feel like they can help you get unstuck? See, I really, really want you to get this, and I want you to get this, that you getting unstuck is going to free up the people around you. I'm going to bring my mother on one night because we're going to talk about how me being, um, me starting to do the work, and like really me starting to do my work and really um heal, it transformed the relationship that my mother and I had. I did not get along with my mother. Me being stuck did hurt her because I had a bad attitude. I had so much resentment towards her. I always had my mama back. My mama always had my back, but we did not have a good relationship. We did holidays together. We would fuss and argue the holidays. Every time we talked to each other, for the most part, it was very pessimistic, like very short, very talking at each other and not to each other. I mean, we did this for most of my life. Everybody around us pretty much thought, oh, they're just happy. That's just mother and daughter. We were stuck. And that stuck was not just hurting us, it was hurting the next generation, my children, my marriage. Me being stuck in my relationship with my parent absolutely impacted my marriage, absolutely impacted my ability to be a parent, absolutely impacted my ability to be a business owner and grow my business and get out there and market myself. You can't do networking events and tell people, what do you do, and answer that question 100 times if you're not comfortable with yourself. I mean, you can do it, but you don't sleep good at night. The anxiety is in control, and it wreaks havoc on your physical edifice as well as your spiritual, mental, and emotional being. And what I'm telling you is, if you have not resolved your mommy issues or daddy issues, a lot of y'all have mommy and daddy issues and you are so in denial. Or my parents raised me. That doesn't mean you don't have mommy and daddy issues. Your daddy and mom could have tucked you in for bed every night, and you may still have daddy and mommy issues because we have unresolved trauma, situations that have taken place and compiled over the years. Somebody could have told you to stop or no at 2 years old, and you process that in a way that's causing problems with you right now in your career, right now in your marriage. I know a lot of us kept secrets as children, and we kept secrets because we thought we were protecting ourselves and our loved ones. But back to keeping a secret. Keeping a secret is what makes you stuck. And when you keep a secret, what happens is that secret not only impacts you, but it impacts everybody around you, especially if that's a secret that needs to be told. We're talking about how you being stuck can really hurt others. I know talking about healing isn't popular. My acronym for healing is honest, engaged enlightenment, authenticity, and love. Accountability and authenticity and love. That's my acronym for healing. We have to be honest so that we can be engaged and enlightened, so that we can be accountable to authenticity, and we do it all in love. And I know you want to know how to make the money, so you want to hit the lottery because you think your life is just going to be perfect after that. And that's not going to happen because you're not happy with yourself. And when you're not happy with yourself, you create an atmosphere that represents that. That's why you're hurting others by being stuck. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to be accountable to your authentic transformation. You've changed and tried to assimilate and fit into all these other groups and crowds for long enough. Why don't you try to fit into the Lamb's Book of Life? Why don't you allow Jesus to really come in and start to heal your heart so that you can get unstuck? That's what we do in the Heartcubator. We go through the 6-step divine heart transplant process. I watched a sermon yesterday, and I think the title of the sermon was um enter your heart, or like release your heart. And she was talking about how your heart has been dislocated and how you have to do hard work. You're out here trying to get certifications. You think you need to go back to school and get your degree. No, you need to cry. You need to talk to your therapist. You need to forgive your brother, your uncle, your grandfather. You need to forgive your father, your mother, your cousin. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive those that have let you down. You need to accept where you are. You need to get out of denial. You need to start telling yourself the truth. And when you start doing that, you'll get unstuck and you will help others follow suit. When you get unstuck, you give other people permission to live freely. But if you're going to live bound up in chains, then I'm not going to live free. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to do as you do. Like this is the thing a lot of parents don't understand. Kids don't do as you say, they do as you do. So if you walk around and you're depressed and you're backbiting and you know you're negative like that, then guess what? Your children, at least some of them, one of them will probably take that on. I couldn't believe how much I was like my mother in ways that I liked and ways that I did not like. But when I really started doing hard work and I really started healing, I realized how much I was hurting my children. Oh my God, I remember. I just remember one day I came in, I was angry. I had a rough day. And I came in and I was just fussing at my kids and they were just looking at me. And after I finished, I felt so bad because I was like, yeah, they could clean up, but they did not deserve me having that bad attitude. They did not deserve me coming in here talking to them with that tone. They deserve a mother who can control herself emotionally. They deserve a mother who can set and establish boundaries and maintain those boundaries. No, I'm not going to always do what they like and get it right, but I can give them that reliability in me being emotionally sound and mentally sound, right? I don't always have to say something when I see it or I notice it. I can let me tell you something. When you are stuck, you hurt others. When I started getting stuck, I started getting out the way and letting my husband lead. Yes, I'm a strong woman. Yes, I'm a go-getter and I like to get out there and do stuff, but I am not a man. And one thing about being stuck causes you to be out of place. Most of us are stuck. That's why we're so independent. You independent because your independence is a defense mechanism against the pain you went through in your life when you felt very vulnerable. And that's a big reason why you decided you were going to be independent because you never wanted to be at anybody else's disposal or waiting on other people like that. But what I'm telling you is when you start doing hard work and you start healing, you start learning that being vulnerable and being at other people's disposal, a lot of times God will do that not so that they can humiliate you, but so that you can go deeper and learn more about yourself than you ever knew. So that you can find out the truth about who you are and whose you are. You're not going to always feel ready. You're not going to always be prepared. But what you better not do is be a bully. Are you being a bully? You stuck and you mad at the people around you because you stuck? Who's getting less than because you're stuck? Who in your life is getting less than? Is it your spouse or significant other? Is it your family? Is it your career? Is it your friends? Are you hurting others by being stuck? Have you ever thought about the benefit and the blessing of your presence to those who come into your presence? You are a rock star. Like people love you and care. So you need to pay attention. You can pick up on that energy when you say something or do something and you feel a mood shift. You also hurt people when you let them get away with too much. You may have been letting the boundary slip. It's like letting a neighbor come and build property on your land. No, it's time for you to reestablish boundaries, because when you get unstuck and locking on those boundaries, you're going to help other people get in place so that they can stop hurting themselves. But it's just time. You got to stop making excuses for playing small. You got to stop making excuses for um being mean to people. You got to stop making excuses for writing people off. Jesus did some very difficult things. When he died on that cross, he carried a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of strife. And us, the minute somebody does one thing wrong, as we want to cut them off and don't look back. But what if God did that to you? Are you hurting others because you're stuck? Are you hurting others because you're stuck? And I want to help you. If you want to get unstuck, you have to do your hard work. Yeah, your career, your profession might require some certification. You might need a degree, but what you need to do is make sure that your heart is working. Make sure that you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually on a solid, secure foundation. I have seen some of the most beautiful men and women. I have been to some amazing places, and it always blows my mind how pretty people spend so much time getting dressed. They spend so much money on their clothes and their hair, and they can't even enjoy the event because they're so hurt in their heart and in their mind. You always think people looking at you. You're so self-conscious. You playing small because you thinking small. You thinking this person worried about you. They don't even know about you. They could care less. You are listening to feedback and taking into account what people are saying to you who have not done anything to work on themselves. Everybody does not deserve your ear of listening. Some people are not worth your time. When you're doing your hard work, you want to make sure that you are intentional about it. Because hard work is going to cause you to find yourself in a situation where you might be free, but you're around a lot of other people who are bound. But a part of you being free is not judging them because they still have on chains, because you just came out of yours. We're talking about, are you hurting others by being stuck? And I just want to let you know that the Heartcubator, from stuck to unstoppable in your life and business, is designed to help you get unstuck. It is designed to help you stop hurting yourself as well as others, because we're going to confront and debunk the fears and insecurities and doubts and traumas that are causing you and have been causing you to play small and be stuck in your life. We're going to get clear on the biblical truths that God says about you. Because how can you stand on the word and pray to God? People will tell you to pray and believe God, but how do you even know what you believe in God for? It's time to get more acquainted with your Savior. We're going to get clear on your business ideas and day-to-day functions. A lot of us are stuck because we're not focused on what we need to focus on. You might be having issues in your relationships right now. You might be having issues with a friend or a child or a parent. But I can promise you, if you start to devote some time to your skill, to your craft, to your gift that God has given you, you're going to start to see those relationships improve because you're improving. You're going to write your first, you're going to publish your first or next book in the Heartcubator. And then you're also going to learn how to use social media and other platforms to get your message out to the community as well as the entire globe. Because that's what social media is all over the world. The Heartcubator is designed to help you get unstuck. There's work that you have to do. We have a weekly study hall where I do live coaching, and it's a Q&A session. And most of all, it's a beautiful community of women. We'll have men soon, but we do have a man coming on real soon. But it's a beautiful community of heart healers focused on taking our lives and businesses from stuck to unstoppable. You like to think you can separate your personal and your professional life, but did you ever realize that you're showing up in both of them? Like you are the one showing up in both of these relationships. It's not separate. You might like to think that your career is separate from your personal life, but it's not, because they all embody you. And what I'm saying is, you could try your best to dot your I's and cross your T's and try your best to be perfect. But until you get set free in your soul, in your mind, in your spirit, you're going to be stuck. And not only you going to be stuck, your husband, your wife going to be stuck, your children going to be stuck, you still going to be stuck in that relationship with your parents. Do you know it does not matter if your parents have already transitioned? If you have some issues with your mom or your dad, you have to heal that. Because if not, you're going to be stuck in that forever. And it's going to cause problems in your relationships. It's going to cause problems in your business. It's going to cause problems in your health. Absolutely. It's time for you to be set free. It's time for you to get unstuck. And I want to support you in doing that. Remember, Heal With Me is our live support group. We are here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you need support during your process of us healing together, I would love to coach you and bring you into our community where you could be held accountable and supported and most of all loved as you go through this process of healing your heart and transforming your life. I'm so thankful that you took the time to be here. I'm so thankful that you mark your calendars and say, hey, I'm going to get on Heal With Me tonight. I apologize. We had a few technical difficulties at the beginning, but we are here. Thank you all for taking this time to be here with us. And remember, take an inventory of your relationships. Notice how those that are closest to you respond to you when you talk, when you do or you don't do. Are they excited to see you and talk to you every day? And it's not just on them. Sometimes you need to do this inventory so you can see how you can show up better. Because when I was coming in here acting crazy with my kids were being kids. I was the one that needed to come in here and talk with a better tone and have a better attitude so that we could foster better relationships. See, a lot of people want to be lazy. Hard work is the hardest thing you're going to do. It's about as hard as me getting a six-pack right now. Abdominal muscle showing, six-pack. It's not impossible, but it's going to take consistent work. That's what hard work is like. But if you do that hard work, you will transform your life. Think about it. I love y'all. If you listening to me and you thinking you want to know more about my coaching practice, or my business coaching, my real estate business, anything that I can do to support you, remember, go to the website, theheartconnections.com, connect with me there. Also, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram at The Heart Connections. If you have not subscribed to Here With Me TV on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 87, so we're still working on it. But I'm thankful for the 87 that are there. That's a blessing. And remember, follow me. Come to the website. You can connect with me there. And we can I would love to get on and do a heart session with you and talk to you about ways that I can support you if you're thinking about joining a Heartcubator but not quite sure what it is. It's a self-paced online course. It's open, it's wide open. You can get in now and start joining us on Tuesday nights for our study hall sessions and get your live questions answered and get heart coaching from me. And but most of all, it is the internal growth that you're going to experience when you go through the Heartcubator. It'll help you be a lot more clear and cognizant of if you're being stuck is hurting those around you. The Heartcubator will help you get a lot more clarity on what it is that you're supposed to be doing in life at this time, right? I'm a visionary. I know what it's like. I know what it's like feeling like you have all these things you want to do, but you have to pace yourself and go step by step. And a lot of us are so used to working alone, we don't do that. So in the Heartcubator, you get that uplifting and you get that support while you do your own thing, but you have that support as you go through the process. I am just so thankful. I'm thankful for my Heartcubers. I'm so thankful for the Heartcubator. I'm so thankful for y'all being here every Monday night for Heal With Me TV. Remember, like the page, subscribe to the page, share the video, do some inventory in your life. Do some inventory in your life. Are you hurting others by being stuck? Think about it. I am Adelai Brown, your heart coach. I am here every Monday night for Heal With Me at 8 p.m. You can find us in our Facebook group, the Heart Tribe. You can find, or Heart Connections. You can find us Heal With Me TV on YouTube. We're also live on Zoom. Just want to make sure that we reach you right where you are. This is not for everybody. But if you are intentional that you want to see real transformation in your life, you don't want to fake it, you don't want to put on, you don't just want to go along to get along. I want to help you. I want to support you as you go through your transition, your authentic transformation from stuck to unstoppable in your life and business. The Heartcubator is wide open, ready for you to join. So that's it for tonight. If y'all have any comments or questions, make sure you can post them live or you can inbox me. I usually get a lot of comments and questions after Here With Me TV. I do encourage you to post them because your questions might be a blessing to others as well. But whatever you do, just remember, if you heal your heart, you're going to transform your life. I am Adelai Brown, your heart coach. I love y'all. I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm so thankful that you took the time to be here, whether you're watching live or watching on the replay. Remember, do some inventory. Are you hurting others by being unstuck? And if you realize that you do, make the necessary shifts so that you can get unstuck and you could bring your loved ones with you as well. That is it for me for tonight. I love you all so very much. We will be back next Monday at 8 p.m. I'm so excited. We have study hall tomorrow night for the Heartcubator. Yay! This is going so good. I'm so excited to see the growth that's going on. It's just God is moving, y'all. And we got to stay in the flow. And we cannot stay in the flow if we are committed to being stuck. Think about it. I love y'all. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out. Have a great night.